everyone. This is Deb with Four Seasons Crafts. I wanted to start sharing with all of you Paper Pumpkin. So this is February's March's Paper Pumpkin. Hello. And I wanted to start going through once a month and sharing with all of you the cards that are in the kit, but then also two alternatives. So we're going to start doing that on the 22nd of every month. So Paper Pumpkin, 22nd of each month. So it's going to be on the calendar, so it's not going to be the same day. So right now what I want to do, excuse me, is show you what came in this March Paper Pumpkin kit. So the first thing is you get a ink spot. So you're going to get an ink spot in every single Paper Pumpkin kit that you get, which is wonderful. Because if you are new to stamping, this is a great way to build your color palette. So this month it's Lost Lagoon. And if you if you used all the ink in this one, you could just buy an ink refill and you could continue to fill it. So that is your ink spot. In March, they always include an additional stamp set. So let me show this to you guys. Hopefully this will make, you'll be able to see it. We'll turn it this way. This is one of the stamp sets, and I will actually be stamping all these, but I just wanted to show it to you first before I started doing everything. But you have some bees and some wings and some like honeycomb there, multiple sayings. And then you have a bigger one. Oops, lost the paper. You have a bigger one here with another saying of happy birthday, a flower, and a larger honeycomb, and the word hello, I think that is. So again, this is kind of a special kit always in March because you get multiple stamp sets. And then you always get some sort of adhesive. So in this one, we got some glue dots and then some adhesive strips in there and some dimensionals. So those all come kind of packaged together. And then on the front side, let me remove the box here. So you always get a set of instructions in your kit. And your instructions are always, they're all done via pictures. So they're language fluent, I guess you could say, as far as some of the greetings here. But it reminds me, and I've said this before, but like Legos. So if you think of if you have children, Lego instructions, they're all picture-based. So this is also very similar. So this actually lays out each card number here, and those are all listed and shown exactly how to put your cards together. And then on the back, it gives you a couple different things. It shows you all the items that are actually in the kit. They are now introducing each quarter a set of dies that you can purchase. And the dies are, I think they're $12, extremely reasonable. So you can add those to an order, a Stampin' Up! Order. And then there's also a QR code for you to watch a video of the cards being assembled. So they do a great job, which is why I'm going to focus a little more on some alternatives rather than showing you how to put the cards together that are in the kit. And we might do that sometimes. Then you also have an option where you can also get a refill. So if you like the cards and the envelopes and the components, you can get a refill. So you have this option here where you can also get that add-on. So just something to remember. And then down here at the bottom, it actually gives you the coordinating colors. So if you decide that you want to make other cards using some of these components, like alternatives, you can look and see exactly what colors you could choose from that actually coordinate right with it, which is wonderful. So those are your instructions. And then inside they always give you one of these little sheets here that actually show you your stamps, which I guess I should have shown you this earlier when I was showing you the stamps. But this is great because you can keep this with your actual stamp sets. It's just a piece of paper, so they don't stick to this piece of paper, but it does give you this ability to actually see what everything looks like. And then it makes it nice for storing, which these honestly will fit beautifully in just a clear medium envelope that Stampin' Up! Has. So think about that as far as storage goes. Okay, so now we're going to turn this back over and we're going to look at all the cards. So what we do is we have some envelopes here, which are absolutely gorgeous. So we have 3 different kinds. I mean, aren't those just beautiful? I mean, who would not want to get that in the mail? I just love them. Now, some people take these envelopes and they will make them in using, you know, cut them up and make them into cards. I always have a hard time with that, but who knows? We might. But there you go. You get 9 envelopes. And then we, of course, have our card bases here. So we have 3 of those. So let's see. Or, yeah, do we have 3? Yep, I think so. So we have these yellow ones here. So the whole front and back. So this is one of those where you could take this and we could cut it in half, use this as a front panel, this is a front panel, and then, you know, put it on a piece of just white cardstock. And that way you're getting 2 beautiful designs on the front of your card. And then we just have some basic blue. It's got a little bit of a sponged color to it. So it's not just completely like a balmy blue. Okay. And then we have some that has more of that yellowish color. And let me look and see if I know exactly what color it is here. Oh, crushed curry or lemon lime twist, one or the other. But you can see it's got that nice, pretty yellow colored. And again, it almost looks a little bit like a sponged look to it. Then we have some vellum here and some circles that are going to punch out. And then we have these beautiful, can you see that? How they glisten? Yeah, those are beautiful. So one of the things I'm going to say that I think is a great reason to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, I was subscribing and then I would delay my, and then not delay, but sometimes pause my subscription. And every time I did, I'd be like, oh, I should have kept it. So there are those times when you're just like, you know what, I think I'm just going to keep it and let it keep coming. And I'm going to start making them because it is such a wonderful surprise to get in the mail. So here you got little honeycombs that are going to punch right out. And we'll just kind of show you what that looks like there. Then we have these beautiful circles. We have 3 of those. These are gorgeous. So the other thing, just as a side note, this would be a great thing to take, punch out a circle, and then try to duplicate this. You know, put some, you know, get your watercolor pens out, get out your colors, and then just try to repeat this. I mean, these are beautiful. I know they're more pretty in person probably than on the camera. And then we have lots of kind of cutouts here, 2 pages. Nope, 3 pages. I'm sorry, we have 3 pages of these that we will probably use on our cards with lots of bumblebees and flowers. So I'm guessing we might have a couple of those left. And then of course we have lots of labels here that we can also punch out. And you can see we have 9 cards and we have, let's see, 4, I don't know, we have multiples here. Let's see, 4, 8, we have 12. So we have at least 4 or 3 extra labels. So that, which is always nice because I think they include them in case you mess up on one. But these are awesome, right? And you can layer if you wanted to, I'm guessing, if you end up having some left over. So those are the contents of this month's Paper Pumpkin kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make one of each of the cards that comes in the kit. And then I'm going to show you some alternatives. All right, so I will be right back. All right, everyone. So I want to come back and show you the 3 cards that come in the March card kit. or March Paper Pumpkin. So these are the 3 cards put together. So I showed you just a little bit ago all the supplies. These are the cards. Now this one I did change the greeting. I just use a lot of thank you notes. And then there's this one, and you'll see they all have dimension. So you can see that. So all these flowers are popped up on dimensionals. And then this one here has that layer, which is just gorgeous. That really looks really cool. So those are the 3 cards. So now I'm going to show you how to make an alternative, a couple alternatives. All right. So we're going to kind of just set these off to the side and get our supplies. Now I wanted to use the most minimal supplies that we could. So we're going to use a piece of thick basic white. So glad that is sticking around. All right, and then I'm going to make just one, but I will tell you, out of the supplies for one, you're going to be able to make like 2 cards, okay? All right, we're going to use one of these cool honeycombs. And then so outside of the basic white cardstock, we're also going to use a piece of 5 by 3 3/4 piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of layering with that. And then we're going to use one of the card bases, the one with the flowers. Okay, so that's what we're going to use to make our card. And we are going to be using some of these florals that go with this card. So instead of us putting them on here, we're actually going to be taking those and putting them on our new card. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to move this off to the side, and we're going to take our paper trimmer here. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut down each side. If you remember, our piece of Lost Lagoon was 3 3/4. So we're going to cut this down to 3 1/2. Okay, so we're going to cut it down to 3 1/2, and then we are going to flip it and do the same thing here. We're going to cut this down to 3 1/2, and I debated on how exactly to trim this down. Now we're going to keep this because we're going to use it later. All right, and now what we're going to do is we are going to cut this into 1-inch strips. All right, so we're just going to take it and cut it into 1-inch strips. Now we only need 4, and actually we just need 2 of each. So I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm going to cut 2 1-inch pieces here. So I'm going to end up with 4. All right, so I have 4 strips that are 3 1/2 by 1 inch. So we are done with that. And again, remember I said we can make 2 cards? Well, that's what we're going to use for those right there. All right, so now we're going to bring this in, and let's go ahead and crease our card base. We'll kind of move that off to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these flower pieces that we have along with our pieces of honeycomb here, and we are just going to spread these out. Okay, and I'm looking and thinking we might need another one, but let's see. I think we might just spread these out just a little bit more, and then voila, that is what we will end up with, is something that looks like that for the front of our card. So let's go ahead and get our adhesive, and we're going to go ahead and adhere these down. So I would say be sure, whenever you're doing strips like this, always start at the bottom and give yourself kind of that border that you think you want. Okay, so we want a little bit of space there at the bottom. All right, and then we're going to do the same at the top. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure. Now when you cut these, just make sure you have them going kind of the right angle as well. So again, give ourselves about the same amount of space at the top as we do at the bottom. And then we can adjust the two that are in the middle here. Okay, just make sure we get that spacing kind of set the way we want it, and then we'll adhere those down. So this is a very simple, pretty simple layout, but it's kind of cool because if you love these daisies and colors, you're going to be able to get 2 beautiful cards out of that one card base. So that's kind of cool. All right, here we go. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we are going to take one of these circles. Now these circles are a byproduct as well. They popped out of the middle of this piece right here. Okay, so this was a layer and this is just a circle. So we're going to use this to do some stamping of our greeting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut it right in half. All right. So the first thing I need to do is kind of determine how large of a circle we have. And it is, it's about 2 3/4, right? So if we do 1 1/4 and a little bit over, we're going to probably hit someplace close to the middle, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, right? So you can eyeball it for sure. All right, now with this, we're going to stamp our greeting, and then what we're actually going to do is kind of hover over a little bit, something like this, but we don't want to cover up the flowers. At least I don't think we do yet. And what we might do is this way right here. Not exactly sure. We're going to check our greeting and go from there. All right. So let's see where our greeting fits. And it looks like it might fit right along that edge, which is perfect. So let me find our ink here. Here we go. So this is Lost Lagoon. I'm just using the larger ink pad instead of our spot, but you absolutely can use whatever. All right, so we're going to go ahead and ink this up, and we're going to place it just right across the middle there. There we go. Pretty. Thank you. Let me wash this off. You guys, I finally got a new sham. This is the old one, and I have a new one coming, and it's not a day late. I mean, it still works, right? The old one. I'm kind of like looking forward to something different. All right, so here we go. So we have that pretty thank you. Oh, and there was one other thing I wanted to do. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So one of the things I thought about doing was taking our honeycomb here, but I think I'm going to use this on the inside of our card here and stamp right kind of along here some of that honeycomb in Lost Lagoon. So let's do that. And I'm going to get just this piece of chipboard that came with it, and I'm just going to lay it on here. Just so that we're not stamping on our surface. My glass mat is in the other room. Now, obviously the honeycomb is yellow on the outside, so you could absolutely use like a crushed curry. But I thought this would be kind of cool, just to add something different on the inside. So there you have it. So we'll just do a little of that. And we are done with our stamping for this card. The one thing about using this paper pumpkin kit to make alternatives is everything goes a lot quicker, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adhere this to this area right here. So we're going to have these yellow pieces because we're going to cover those up with some daisies and put some at the top too. So we're just going to kind of line that right up on the edge. Now you could use, oops, sorry, I'm a little bit on the screen there. You could put this on dimensionals too. Totally fine. I'm going to make sure that I'm just covering up the area like where these two spaces are. So I'm just going to make that nice and straight there. And now I'm going to take a sheet of our flowers. Now I'm going to use 3 of them. So there's kind of 3 small ones, 3 big ones. So I'm going to use 1 larger one and then just a couple smaller ones. So there's some that are like a half moon and then some that are a little bigger. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to take maybe one of these smaller ones and that should give me enough for the card. And then I also mentioned we're going to use one of these little guys right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find a place to put this in addition to maybe one of the flowers here. So I'm not exactly sure where yet. We're just going to lay this out and kind of figure out what we might like to see on this card. So maybe we'll do something like that. You guys think? I think I like that. So let's do this. Let's take this right here. We'll add a little adhesive kind of right there. And we'll put our honeycomb there so that it sticks out. And then we'll add some dimensionals to this one, to this right here. So let's get out dimensional. And we will just pop that right there. Oops, I got a little piece of that sticking out, which we absolutely do not want. So we'll put that right here. And then we'll take this one down here and maybe pop that up right about like that. Yep, we could do it over here too, the larger one, and then maybe put the small one right here. You guys, let me see here. We'll find that gap. That might be just perfect. Let's see. So we're doing just a little bit of maneuvering here and see what we can find that we like. I think that looks good, actually. So this one, the small one here, I'm actually going to just glue this one down. And we'll put it right here. And then the larger one, we will keep toward the bottom. And we will put that one, oops, right here. What do you guys think? I like it. What do you think? Okay, and now we're going to take this and we are going to adhere it to the front of our card. So we'll just add some adhesive here. So you guys know I normally use a lot of green glue, which I have here, but I am almost out. So kind of saving that a little bit. Right there we have it. So there is our first alternative card. So what we did was we took supplies from this card to make this card here. And the only thing we did was we used a piece of basic white and we used a piece of Lost Lagoon. Now, I do want to say something because I literally stamped in this, and I wasn't exactly thinking, but I actually wanted to put in a piece of this. Remember, this is what was left over. So I'm actually going to slice this right down the middle here. I'm doing this on the side. And I'm just wondering, we might be able to do it, we might not. I don't know if it'll look good or if it will look kind of cheesy because I used a different color, which, yeah, I think it does. I don't like it. But what I would suggest you do, and what I will probably do in maybe one of these other cards, is take this piece here and literally put it on the side. So that is something, instead of stamping this in the middle, which I like that, I would probably use this strip here. So I will save those for sure, and that way you're using all pieces of your card. All right, so there is our first alternative. Let's go ahead and do our second. Now our second alternative, we're just going to make an alternative card using the supplies. We're not going to actually, we're going to do a little bit, something a little different, but we are not, we're not going to get 2 cards out of this, okay? We're just going to make it look a little different. So again, the supplies made this card here, and we're going to make a few changes. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take 1.25 inches off of the side of one of the cards, okay? So we're taking 1.25 inches off, and we're going to get this piece. Again, don't throw it away because we'll use it. And then what we're going to do is take a piece. And again, we only used a 5-inch piece from the previous card. So now we're going to take this here, and we're going to take 1.5 inches, and we're going to cut off 1.5 inches from this piece of Lost Lagoon. So we've used 1 piece of solid white, and we've used 1 piece of Lost Lagoon. Okay, and then we're going to cut it to 5.5. Okay, so we have a piece that's 1.5 by 5.5. And now we're going to take our card here. Let's go ahead and we're going to take that right down. And now what we're going to do is we are actually going to flip this over. Well, we're not going to flip it over. We're going to line it up here to the bottom. We're going to do it this way. We're going to line up this piece so the bottom of it is right along the edge. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add a line of adhesive here. And then we're going to bring the top down. Okay, and just make sure we have it nice and lined up on all sides. So we're just going to kind of bring that down. Make sure it's nice and even. I can see I have a tiny bit right here. Oops, on the side there. Sorry about that. Kind of moved my whole desk area. All right, so now I'm going to look over here, and I can just see I have this very slight bit of cardstock there. So I'm just going to kind of take that off there. There we go. I think I got that enough. All right, so now what we're going to do, now we have this cool kind of two-tone. Now we're going to take one of the flowers that we have here, and we are going to take that and put it right on here, right where that dividing line is. And we are going to take a bee here, and again we're going to use some of our pine cones here as well, and we're going to use that. Now, before we actually go and stick all that down, we are going to take some of this area up here, and we are going to stamp it with this pine cone, the smaller one, and we're just going to kind of stamp that around a little bit on here. And let me see. Do I want to do that? I got to think about it, you guys. maybe not. Maybe I won't do that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know that I'm gonna like the way that looks. I think I'm gonna skip that. I think I'm gonna leave it plain. I think I kind of like it plain. All right, so we're gonna take this piece right here and we're gonna pop this up on dimensionals, and then we're also gonna glue our honeycomb and our bee up top. All right, so let's just take this and let me use a little liquid glue here, just a little bit on the edge. There we go. Now I'm going to cover this up, so I just got to get it in the right spot. There we go. And then I can cover that right up with our bee, but we're going to put him up on a dimensional. So let's go ahead and, oops. And this dimensional is just a tad too big, so we're going to cut him in half. The ones you actually get in this kit, you get the strips and then you get some mini dimensionals. I just didn't pull those out yet, so there we go. And we're going to put that right over top of that honeycomb. Hello. And then we're going to take this piece right here and we're also going to pop it up on dimensionals. Okay, and we are to the end here, so we're going to go ahead and if you guys haven't done this, you just slice across, and you know, there's no right or wrong way, but it will give you then extra. So never throw those away. You can always use them 100 different ways. So that's all we're going to do. We're just going to go across. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and put it right in between our, there we go, and all right, now let's bring this back in. We are going to put it right across here. Make sure it is even. There we go. Look at that, you guys. I love it. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and pull one of our, and we'll use this one. I think that will be nice. We'll put it right there, and we'll do thank you. Again, lots of wonderful sayings in this kit. This one works really well for the cards that I make, which is always nice. And if you guys ever when you get Paper Pumpkin, you can use any greetings. You know, you can use the ones in the kit. You can always pull out other greetings that you use most often. All right. So let me go ahead and put thank you right in the middle there. And then we are just going to put it right there in between that card, and we'll just glue that right down. We don't need to put it up on dimensionals. We'll just adhere that right underneath those flowers. And we'll want it tucked a little bit under there. Just center it under that flower there. And there you have it. There is our second card alternative. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's truly fun putting them together. Now what I would probably do inside here is take that piece we cut off, and I'm actually going to put that inside here. So it makes a little bit of what looks like maybe a two-tone back. So you can use it for something else too, but that way it's not wasted. And we don't maybe have that sharp edge there. We have something that maybe looks a little bit more finished. So, oops, sorry, I'm off the camera there again. So there we go. I'm just gonna put that right up in there. All right. All right, there we go. Okay, so you guys, we had this one as our first card, and then this is now our alternative. And again, we just used one piece of Lost Lagoon and one piece of Basic White, and we didn't even use, you know, all of the either piece or all the pieces there. So that is it. I hope you guys like this. If you want to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, I will have a link below in the description. And again, on the 22nd is when I will be going live. This one's a little later, just one day late. But Paper Pumpkin, so PP22. So Paper Pumpkin on the 22nd, we'll do a couple alternatives each month. All right, you guys, thanks for joining. See ya. Bye.